behind us is the Alfa Romeo Giulia.
This is a super model, 2-litre turbocharged petrol, 8-speed automatic with paddle shift, 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds.
This car's here to take on the BMW 3 Series, the Mercedes C-Class and the Audi A4.
It's the ultimate luxury sports saloon. I'll be looking at the driving experience, how it handles, and basically what the car's about.
I'm going to be taking a look at the practicality, the functionality. We'll then bring you our verdict on whether or not this is the car for you. Stepping inside the Giulia, it is a little bit unusual because the door opening is slightly narrower. It does make it a little bit more difficult for larger adults. However, there is the trade-off of because the door's smaller, it's easier to get in and out of in car parks. However, once you're in here, it's a very nice place to be. There's soft touch materials everywhere, there's the stitched dash, there's the wood inlays, and everything feels very, very well screwed together in here. You're going to be hard pushed to find any hard plastics at all. When it comes to functionality on this car, you're not going to fall short. There's all-round electric windows, power fold door mirrors, a range of autonomous aids such as rain sensing wipers and automatic headlights. When it comes to conveniences, you've got heated electrically operated seats, you've got a heated steering wheel. Now this car is packed full of options. The infotainment system is very intuitive. Everything's controlled using this rotary dial, which is very reminiscent of the BMW iDrive system. There is Bluetooth, auxiliary input, USB and sat-nav. You are also able to control some of the car's settings using the infotainment system. There is also this DNA switch, which Ben will get to later in this video. You have also got dual zone climate control as well. When it comes to practicality, there's lots of headroom and there's lots of legroom. You really can make the car your own because it has electrically operated seats with memory function. The steering wheel also has height and reach adjustment, however this is done manually. It would have been nice for this to be electrically operated. Now when you come to the door bins, they are a tad small, however they are quite clever. There is a little recess in there for a bottle of water. In the central storage area you've got 2 more cup holders, and there's a large central storage area here with an auxiliary, a USB and a 12-volt socket. The glove box is also a decent size. Stepping into the back, the overall fit and finish from the front continues to the back. Everything's very high quality back here. This seat here is set up for somebody over 6 foot, and I've got just enough leg room and there's enough headroom. However, if you do lean all the way back, your hair will brush against the roof of the car. Fitting 2 people back here will not be a problem. However, a third, it might be a bit of a squeeze due to this large transmission tunnel. There is also electric windows back here, a USB port, and the ISOFIX points have got these nice little flaps on that are attached to the seat so you don't lose them. There is also a pull down armrest and side curtain airbags. When it comes to storage back here, there are some little door bins, there is some nets on the back of the seats and the cup holders in the pull down armrest.
When you step round to the boot of the Giulia, you'll realise it doesn't have a power tailgate. That doesn't really matter because 2 clicks on this and you will release the boot. You've got a slight load lip here, a very flat boot floor with 40-20-40 Spalding rear seats. There's no tethering point, and just for simplicity and ease, these little flaps release the seats. They'll only pop. It would have been nice to see them catapult forward so they were flat. The boot size on this as well is 480 litre capacity, which, believe it or not, is on a par with the C-Class and the BMW 3 Series. Under the floor, you'll see a tow eye cover, and that's it. But that's because this car is fitted with run-flat tyres.
At the front of the car, it's unmistakably Alfa, with the passion and flair in the styling, these aggressive front lenses, and this typically Alfa Romeo grille. There's also the intelligent driving aids available as well, so it brings the car right into 2018. You've got the sweeping long bonnet, automatic headlamps with daytime running lights, parking sensors, and the off-centre number plate, which is very reminiscent of classic Alfa Romeos. At the side of the car in this executive trim level, you've got 18-inch alloy wheels, you've got these chrome strips that run along the side of the car, powerful mirrors, keyless entry. You do also notice how low this car is. It almost looks like a stretched out sports car, and that isn't a bad thing. At the back of the car you really do get a sense of how understated this car is. With a single exhaust, it does look a little bit different for something with these performance figures. There is also a reversing camera and parking sensors back here as well.
So what's the Alfa Romeo like to drive? Well, it's fabulous. Yes, that's the word we're going to use. It's Italian, it's full of flair, it's full of passion. It's one of those cars that when you step into it, it feels more like a racing car, down to the paddles, the gear shift, and the performance. I mean, we're talking a 200 brake horsepower car, 2-litre petrol turbo. As I mentioned, this is a super model, so it's quite well kitted out as well. And the one thing you will notice in this car is the refinement. The engine, it just purrs like a kitten, but it can growl. And then you've got the 8-speed automatic gearbox as well, with the paddle shift. Its refinement it's one of the best gearboxes I've ever driven with. And the one thing that you will notice when you knock it into the manual paddle shift mode is it's instant. You're basically transformed into an Italian racing car. When you start shifting up and down, it is so responsive. It's fabulous. One thing the Giulia does have is the DNA mode, and that's a little dial just down here. But dynamic, normal, and advanced. Advanced is when you've got low traction, so basically you've got snow, sleet, where the car's not going to be gripping as well as you'd expect. That then adapts all the steering and controls to make sure that the car gets maximum grip. Normal, self-explanatory really, you just get normal car. Decent setup of suspension and steering, and then you've got dynamic. Now dynamic is what I'd call race car mode, to be honest. It tightens everything, tightens suspension, steering, and you really can tell it's ridiculous how well this car handles. You can floor it around a corner and it'll just grip, and when you steer it just goes exactly where the steering wheel is. There's no wallow, there's no oversteer. It's tremendous. You have to try it, you really do. The engine in the car is a 200 brake horsepower petrol turbocharged engine, and it boasts performance figures such as 0 to 60 in 6.6 seconds. With that, you actually get a decent economy. I mean, we've been getting 35 to 40, but realistically we've not been on a long haul journey, and we've hardly been driving the car, can you say, economically, but we're not going to, because that's the fun with this car. If you're in the market for this type of car, well, you have to take a look at the Giulia, and likely the super model, to be honest. The 2-litre petrol engine is refined, it's economical, and it's very good to drive. You've also got autonomous driver aids as well.
What's our verdict of the Alfa Romeo Giulia?
Well, this car breaks all the rules. For the last few years, the automotive reputation of Alfa Romeo has been somewhat sketchy, with build quality and performance and just general overall car. But if this is the future of Alfa, it's one that we really want to see. The performance is great, the build quality is great, and it makes you feel really good, and it looks very good.
Well, it's very practical, there's great tech on this car, this model's very economical as well, and there's a range of engines to choose from.
And there's also the behemoth, the Quadrifoglio, which is over 500 brake horsepower if you really want that power.
If you're in the market for an executive saloon car and you don't want the normal BMW, Mercedes or Audi, it's well worth taking a look at the Alfa Romeo Giulia. For more great impartial car reviews, check out our YouTube channel. Thank you.